Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Hope that you're doing great wherever you are, and thank you so much for being here. I have a question for you today. Are you a traveler? Do you love to travel? I think women in their 60s and 70s and beyond are really interested in getting out there and seeing the world now that we've got a little bit more time and also perhaps grandchildren in our lives. And one of our sponsors, Rhodes Scholar, wrote an article this month on the topic of grandparenting programs. And I got so excited about them because I have several grandchildren myself. And I know how much travel can be an eye-opening, mind-expanding opportunity for both the children and for you. So if you're interested in this, listen up, because Rhodes Scholar has got programs all over the world. And they are a nonprofit educational travel group. They do all kinds of different programs around the world, but they've got over 140 programs for grandparents and with children of all ages, starting from as early as 6 and going up into teenage years. And I just want to chat with you a little bit about some of the programs that they have, not just for the value that they offer to the children, but how they bring out the child in you, how they actually are experiences that you can remember and build on your memory bank for the time you spend together. Now, kids are natural explorers, right? They love to explore. They're constantly digging into new things. I've got two grandchildren. One is 2 years old, Max. He and I had this wonderful time always when we go to the park. We play that we're in the jungle and we're looking for animals and we sneak through the trees, and he's just so, his imagination just is expanded every time we do it. But he really does love that magic of exploration. And then my older grandson, Jack, who's totally not into school and reading, loves the Harry Potter series and is caught up in that magic and mystery of the books. And I must admit, I've never read them, but he loves them. And so this is his way of discovering a new world and exploring his mind. So there's lots of children that have different interests, science and technology or arts and culture. You don't maybe know exactly what your children are like until you start going out there with them and exploring the world. So what does Rhodes Scholar do? Now, they've got programs that help you to find adventures with your grandchildren at the level you can manage physically and also the level that they have interest in. So it helps us, first of all, to forge relationships with our grandchildren. In that respect, we ask them, what do you want to do? What do you love? What are your passions? What are the things that really make you have fun? And in doing that, you build a relationship that's deeper than the Skype calls or the email or the little visits that you can make if you don't live in the same town. So Rhodes Scholar knows that the modern grandparents and modern grandmothers are looking for new ways to introduce their children to the world and at the same time to explore their own passions and the things that they love to do. You're sharing part of you with your grandchildren, and that is so, so powerful. Now, and Rhodes Scholar understands this, and so they offer a range of programs that are so incredibly unique. As I was researching for this article, I was just overwhelmed by the spectrum, the spectrum of choice that you have. So this is, I think, 6 ways that Rhodes Scholar programs can actually help you to get closer to your grandchildren and become a kid again yourself. So the first thing is to explore the fantastic world of science and technology. Now, we've created some of these amazing innovations, the boomer generation, and isn't it great that we can share some of this with grandchildren? And Rhodes Scholar has a number of different programs. There's one in Louisiana, St. Louis, Missouri. It's a science program for 6 to 8-year-olds. So you can start them really, really young. You can check that one out. The links, by the way, are all in this article. Another one is a space and robots program. This is in, I think it's in St. Louis too, and it's a Lego Mindstorm robot programming. You can actually launch your little miniature, spaceship into space. It's got actual practical things the kids can do to learn about science, technology, robotics, and space, the world that they may be visiting in their lifetime. The other thing is, the other benefit, I think, to travel with your grandchildren is to see the world through the eyes of the child. Now, they are always like, they've got little magnifying glasses on their eyes, it seems. Like they always see things that we don't see. I know like Maxie sits and looks forever at little plants and snails. And it's like, he actually says, wow. And it is wow. But when you don't look at things that way, children can teach you. They can teach you how to look at nature in a different way. Now, a lot of kids don't live in the country; they live in the cities, and so urban children really love the chance to get out into nature, explore the world. There's a couple of them we mentioned in the article. One is in Shawnee National Park, which I think is in Illinois as well, and it's a really beautiful natural park, and there's lots of programs there on offer. And also, this one sounds so cool to me. It's in on an island, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but it's Chincoteague. It's in Virginia. You know you probably know exactly which one this is because it's really well known, because on this island, kids can just be totally immersed in nature. There's dolphins, bottlenose dolphins, and there's eagles and all kinds of marine life, and also wild ponies. And this island is just a magical place where Rhodes Scholar holds programs for children. I think it's 9 to 12 year old, but you can check out all these details on the website. There's lots of information. The next thing that you can learn yourself by going on a trip with your grandchildren is about new places, cultures, and maybe there's places in the world that you would like to go, that you'd like to introduce to your children, or somewhere special that you have been, it's close to your heart, and you want to share it with them. Now, for example, there's a program in Lisbon. It's actually called Street Art, Fado, and a Treasure Hunt in Lisbon. And it just immerses you as together. By the way, you're in a group. You're in a group of people here. This is important to mention. You're not just the two of you. It's like you're in a group with other Rhodes Scholar travelers. And the whole group can actually experience Lisbon from an art and street art and, cultural perspective. I love Portugal. And I think it's a really interesting culture. The food, the way of life, the pace, the traffic, everything. So that's one. And then the other one is, there's many others, but another one is in Amsterdam. And this is one that focuses on flowers, of course, the beautiful tulips that come out every year, and also art. It's an amazing place for art. There's the canals and all kinds of water activities. Amsterdam is a wonderful, foreign site if you're living in the States. But don't forget, Rhodes Scholar has programs all over the world, and many in the United States and Canada. So I'm just mentioning a couple here and there, but there's a lot more to explore, trust me. Now, another thing that's good for you as a grandparent is that curiosity is a natural high. It actually makes you feel better. It reduces stress. And there's been a report by I think it was Ageist magazine that says it actually helps with longevity. It actually helps you live longer. And we know this is logical because the less stress, the happier, the more physically well you are, the longer you're going to live. But that's a kind of a side benefit to the fact that going on these programs just helps you develop your curiosity and your wonder for the world. And I just think some of these are incredible. I wish I could do them all. They're just so fascinating. But in the article, I list 15 brand new programs that are just coming out this year that are really designed to be curiosity programs where you can learn new things along a whole spectrum. Next thing I want to mention, we've mentioned it briefly at the beginning, is you can learn about your grandchildren. You can learn whether they like Harry Potter or whether they like nature or whether they're into space or technology. I mean, you may not have the chance to actually ask them these questions. When Max is older, I'll hopefully maybe take him to Costa Rica or somewhere, in the glaciers in Iceland. We'll travel to real places with real wild animals or a safari somewhere. And then with Jack, maybe I'll be able to go and take him to Universal Studios where they have a Harry Potter program. There's lots and lots of options that help you to get to know your grandchildren better. And isn't that really, in a way, what this is all about? They are taking you into the future. They are your future. They're your family. They're your children's children who are going to be living you through them in the future. So you have an investment in getting to know what they like, how to best tune into their passions. And, the final thing is get outside your comfort zone. I'm not saying you're going to be zip lining, down the mountains in Costa Rica or surfing in Hawaii, but you might very well be doing something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, getting in a kayak or maybe walking a few extra miles, and just push yourself a bit. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, there's lots of programs across the whole spectrum, so you don't have to be uncomfortable. But if you do, that's an option to get out there and try something new. So I hope this has been useful, like 6 good reasons why it's worth, for you yourself to take your granddaughter or grandson on a Rhodes Scholar program. Check out their website and the article here. It's got lots of links to the specific information I've mentioned. But I want to thank Rhodes Scholar for doing this. I've been on some of their programs and they really are remarkable, well organized, beautifully, logistically organized, and just good fun. Great people too. You meet some good friends. So if you're thinking about taking your grandchild on a trip, check out the Rhodes Scholar website, rhodescholar.org, and look forward to getting your feedback below. Leave your comments, and look forward to your adventures that you've shared with your grandchildren. So take very, very good care, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.